Hey, thanks for checking out this video. We're Williams Vintage Cycle in Xenia, Ohio. And I just want to do a quick walk around video on this 1974 Suzuki T500. This is a two-stroke oil injected motorcycle, which means that you don't have to pre-mix the oil and gas like you would on your weed eater. It's got a separate oil tank. You put the oil in the oil tank, the gas in the gas tank, and there's an oil pump that mixes them together at the proper ratio based on the throttle. There's a throttle cable that opens it or pulls on the oil pump and gives it the right amount of oil based on your throttle position. So this one's it's not a show bike, it's not a restoration, nothing like that. Just a cool bike that runs pretty good, that we cleaned up a little bit, putting a few new parts on, and now it's looking for a new home. She's got some miles on her, so actually it's kind of cool. You don't really see a lot of these two-strokes that have been ridden as much as this one. This one's got right now 48,368 miles, so she's been used. But I mean, if you do the math, this is it's 1974, so it's 51 years old right now, so that's less than 1,000 miles a year, I believe. So I'm sure that was about 46,000 miles in the first 10 years and 2,000 in the last 40 years. That's usually how it works. We got this one. It's part of one of those 10 bike barn bike collections that you've probably seen a couple other revival or not really restoration, but refurb bikes that we brought back. This is one of those from one of those 10 bike collections. This was a true barn find bike. You know, it was not a runner. Probably hadn't ran in at least a decade, I imagine. Had some ugly stuff on it, old rotted tires, that kind of stuff. So we brought it in, put it up on the lift. With that kind of miles, honestly, it just isn't worth doing a full restoration. I mean, if you're doing it yourself and you don't have to pay yourself, maybe it is, but for us, we gotta keep the lights on and pay the guys. Just couldn't do it, but we did clean her up a little bit and get it running. So it's got put a brand new set of tires and tubes on it. Try to use the IRC GS11 tires when we can, because they're a made in Japan tire and they got a nice vintage tread to them. They look great on these old bikes. So it's got that. Carburetors, you know, we got a big ultrasonic cleaner, so those get pulled off, fully disassembled, go through the ultrasonic cleaner, and then set up, put back on the bike. Don't buy the rebuild kits or anything like that. Most of those come out of Asia and your quality is not very good, so try to stay with the original parts whenever we can, original jets, all that kind of stuff. Of course, we always test the brass floats, make sure they're not leaking before we put the cars back together. It did get this is a brand new air filter boot here, Suzuki. I'm not sure if they're still making those, but we've got a handful of them from when Suzuki was still making them. So the old one was all hard and split, so got a nice new soft rubber boot on there, got a nice new kicker rubber. Unfortunately, Suzuki doesn't put the little S logo on the kicker rubbers anymore, so that's how they look now. It's still got the original T500 petcock on it. We did clean that out, put some new gaskets down here, a new gasket behind there. Unfortunately, they don't make the diaphragm, or at least I haven't found anybody that makes that. But this one seems to be working. New fuel lines, of course. Let's see, what else? Did a little bit of polishing on the engine. Not overkill or anything like that, just to take the oxidation off of it, make it shine just a little bit. Still got its original Suzuki S mirrors. That's pretty cool. Those are usually broken or missing anymore. New battery, of course. We always put a little battery tender pigtail on here so that you can plug your battery tender into it, keep the battery charged up. That's the best way. Keep the battery, or get the longest life out of your battery, is to keep a tender or equivalent on there. These are a 12-volt bike. So, oh, did put a brand new pair of shocks on there. Those are not Suzuki. Suzuki hasn't made those in a long time, but those are reproductions. Get those from Paul Miller up in Connecticut. He's a big Suzuki T500 guy, or any of the Suzuki two-strokes really. If you need parts for your Suzuki two-stroke, he's the guy to get a hold of. Probably the easiest way to find him is on eBay. He's got a pretty good selection of NOS Suzuki parts. Did put some reproduction turn signals on the rear. These are not the OEM turn signals. These are reproductions. They're similar style. Here, I'll show you. These are correct Suzuki style. You can see it's a little bit fatter chrome, a little bit longer lens. These are the reproductions that they're selling on eBay. As you can see, they're a little bit shorter chrome, a little bit shorter lens, but they got the same shape to them, basically. Can't remember what was on. I think it had a big luggage rack sissy bar thing on it when we started, and not the right signals were on it, so that's why we went with those. Oil injection system is hooked up. It's working properly. You can see there's your little sight gauge. Your two-stroke oil, CCI, Suzuki called it. I forget what that stands for. 710 cap, shined up. Just kidding. Oil cap. But that's where it tightens up at. So, fresh gearbox oil, of course. Let me see. It's about all, I think, in the way of new parts that went into it. Ignition system was gone through. We go through and clean the points, gap them, set the timing. Set the timing on these old two-strokes is pretty interesting. You got a little dial indicator that you put down the spark plug hole, and you set the engine at the whatever the book tells you to set it at, and then adjust your points to fire it right then at that point. So, a little different than some of the four-strokes. Can't think of nothing else to tell you about it, so let's fire it up. I got the petcock on reserve. Let's go to on. Can't see it in the video, just the faintest little wisp of smoke. It's about correct, so you know your oil pump is working. This is still before the mandated headlight in the USA, so you can turn your headlight on and off. So for starting, I always like to leave them off so we don't use up any battery, but here is, let's see, that should be headlight on. High beam is this one. It's kind of strange. Low is forward, high is to the back. So then you get your little bright light indicator and your high beam comes on. So all your lights and stuff are working. I'm going to go put that back to low, turn that off because we don't need it. There's your turn signals. It's kind of sunny out here. Yeah, you can see it. There you go. The left side, right side. We're just sitting here at idle, so they're not flashing at a real high rate of speed. Let me give it a little old turn signal relays. The more you got the RPMs and the voltage up, the faster they flash. So, I can turn that back off. Here's a horn. That works good. Still got your little mirror, rubber mirror cushions. I think they call them cushions. There's your gauges. Brake light will show you that. Alright, I think that's about all I can show you. I wanted to keep this one kind of short and sweet. So again, 1974 Suzuki T500 two-stroke. And we are Williams Vintage Cycle in Xenia, Ohio. If you're interested in this bike, and it's not years down the road, give us a call. Leave us a comment, shoot us an email. If you would, give us a thumbs up, like on this video at all. It helps us, we appreciate it. So, alright, that's it for this one. See you next time.